veteran BJP leader, right-wing Hindu thinker, social activist, former governor of Tripura and Meghalaya. Joining me here on the print is Tathagata Roy. Thank you so much for speaking to us, sir. Um, with elections just few days away now, the first phase begins
Yeah.
on the 19th of April. I think
Yes.
this conversation holds very high importance, at least in West Bengal, because from you, I would like to understand, where do you see the West Bengal BJP standing as of now, considering you have worked within the party, you have seen very closely 2019, 2021, and now you're going to be witnessing 2024. So you have a very close eye on the West Bengal BJP organization, and I want to ask you, where does it stand as of now?
Before I begin, a small correction. That is, I am no longer a BJP leader. I used
Former.
to be one. Now I'm merely a supporter and, of
Okay.
course, a commentator. Right?
All right. Noted.
Now, your question is, where does the BJP stand? I'd say that BJP stands in a fairly comfortable position in that it is likely, in my estimation and from whatever inputs I've got so far, it is likely to better its score of 18 seats, which it got in 2019. There are a lot of gaps here which they will have to fill up. And I am trying to give them some advice. It's up to them whether they take it or not. I will not go out of way to persuade them, but I just let them have it. And, well, that is that.
So you said there are a few gaps. If you could just
Yes.
briefly tell us and the viewers what these gaps that you have noticed within the West Bengal BJP.
Yes, I'll tell you. See, West Bengal BJP has so far not scripted a comprehensive narrative for the BJP to fight elections in West Bengal. See, there is a gap in understanding which was very manifest in 2021, that this is not a Hindi belt state. In fact, no state in Eastern India is a Hindi belt state, is like a Hindi belt state. Neither Bihar, neither West Bengal, nor Odisha, not Assam, not any of the hill states or northeastern states. So we have a different politics which is required to be understood by the people, and they ought to script a narrative which is appropriate to the situation. Unfortunately, Trinamool has already scripted a narrative, and it is apparent, it is clear on the hoardings that they have put up. This time I've not got very much outside Kolkata. To the extent I've seen in Kolkata, they are putting up large hoardings, very giant hoardings, I must say. And in those hoardings, their narrative is manifest. One of the features of this narrative is that they are taking a stand that BJP is an anti-Bengali party. BJP is an anti-Bengali party. Now, this is a very serious accusation, and this accusation they had made in 2021. And in 21, the BJP had practically stepped into their trap by importing a very large number of Hindi-speaking leaders and getting them to speak all over the state. See, West Bengal people have Bengalis don't have any enmity towards Hindi or any animus, as I understand there is in Tamil Nadu, for instance. But they, rightly or wrongly, they consider their language to be superior. And in any case, whether it is superior or not, quite a large number of them, particularly the rural masses and particularly the rural women, they don't understand Hindi. So the urban people more or less understand it. The rural men, many of them understand it, but rural women absolutely don't understand Hindi. So getting Hindi speakers to address them actually alienates them. This was totally lost on the 2021 people who were running the elections. This is one. The second thing is this anti-Bengali thing is apparent was apparent in 2021. Not only the large number of Hindi speakers who were being brought from other states, but the lack of a credible Bengali leader. This lack of a credible Bengali mass leader was a very big problem, and plus the choice of candidates was very bad in 2021. There were other things which I will not go into. I had tweeted or I had been eloquent on social media on that thing right after the elections. We will not go into that. But right now the position is that a leader ought to be propped up. You see, the BJP's principal adversary, Trinamool Congress, they have a leader. They have an unquestioned leader. Her wish is law. In that party, her wish is law. I mean, just as the Muslims believe that without the Allah's wish, not even a Trinamool Congress is a party in which, without Mamata saying so, nothing will happen. And the rest of the people are just gophers, no better than that, just errand boys. Everyone, including the celebrated nephew. So they have a leader, unquestioned leader. Unfortunately, BJP doesn't have. Now, this is, of course, a Lok Sabha election, so there is no question of a prior chief minister designate. But even so, a leader ought to be identified. What
do you think? I'm sorry, I had to step in over here. What do you think has what has been the reason why the West Bengal BJP hasn't been able to find a strong face, a strong leader, one such person who could stand up against not only the Trinamool Congress but also lead the party from the front? We haven't seen one in a long time, and as you have correctly pointed out. So what is the reason for that?
See, I was going to say something on that. It is not as if BJP is a total failure in that aspect. Shubhendu Adhikari is emerging as a mass leader. In fact, he is emerging as the only mass leader in the party, and he is being given due importance. Now, because he is a relative newcomer to the party, and because he does not belong to the RSS, there are certain aspects in which his, how should I put it, in which his ideological position is a little vague. So far as I think, he ought to have, it will not take a huge lot of coaching, but it will take some coaching. He must be clearer on the ideological questions of BJP, because faltering on that or not being sufficiently explicit on certain questions may raise doubts in people's minds. Otherwise, on purely political questions, he's very eloquent, very positive. He's working very hard. And having said what I said a little earlier before your question, having said that, he is now emerging as a mass leader.
But he comes from the Trinamool Congress. We have seen the rise of the BJP under the leadership of Dilip Ghosh in 2019, the last Lok Sabha. The party got 18 seats, which gave the Trinamool Congress a nightmare that they had to go and fetch Prashant Kishore to keep their campaign going for the assembly election. So how is it that the BJP has not found someone from within the party to take forward, as you said, of course, RSS, the ideology? Someone like Dilip Ghosh comes from an RSS background, but Shubhendu Adhikari doesn't. But why is it the BJP has to bank on a Trinamool Congress leader for its state leadership?
Hello? Oh, yeah.
So why does the BJP have to, depend on a former Trinamool Congress leader, a prodigy of Mamata Banerjee, who has been a very close aide of hers, to really keep the party together here in West Bengal?
No, it's not like that. You see, being of RSS background is a necessary condition. It is not a sufficient condition. It is not as if you belong to the RSS, you're home. You need to have certain political qualities. You need to talk the right things. You need to focus on the right issues. You need to have some, I wouldn't say erudition, but you need to have some background. Now, in 2018, we did such a phenomenal result. I would say phenomenal, simply because of one person, one name, and that is Narendra Damodar Das Modi. The country had never seen a leader like this. And he was the issue. He was the person he was the mascot of the election. And it is only because of his name that the BJP got 18 seats. Not for any other reason. I repeat, not for any other reason, but for Narendra Modi.
How do you see Dr.
No,
Sukanshu
one second. The other part of your question,
Sure.
that is, why did we have to get a leader from Trinamool? Shubhendu Adhikari is not a product of Trinamool. It's not a dyed-in-the-wool product of Trinamool. The Trinamool has two kinds of leaders. One set of leaders are those who had been, Mamata Banerjee belonged to the Congress, right? So at that time, the official Congress was siding with the CPM below the surface. And Mamata Banerjee was opposing that thing. Until 1997, it was clear to everyone that you can't rely upon the Congress to oppose the CPM.
The watermelon analogy had come across that on
That's
top.
right. The watermelon
Congress.
analogy. Watermelon analogy, absolutely right. Now, Mamata Banerjee rebelled against it and came out. The persons who came out with her and joined the Trinamool Congress, they were one set of people that I was talking about, the people of this contained people like Shobhandev Chatterjee and all that. The other set of people are assorted goons, troublemakers, outlaws, the dregs of society, like Shah Jahan, who flocked to her in the hope of making money and having other pleasures. And gradually, it is these people who took over, who populated Trinamool. But Mamata Banerjee always remained the central figure. Now, earlier than this, there had when Trinamool Congress was not in power, people like Shah Jahan, they had no stature in the state. But in the Trinamool, as soon as Trinamool Congress came to power, they acquired a stature and they became very, very powerful. And Mamata Banerjee's attitude towards them was very simple. You want to make money, go ahead and make money. I am not going to look, I'm going to look the other way. You've got to give the share of it to the party. But if you get nabbed by ED, CBI or whoever, then I don't know you. Right. So this was it. Now, Shubhendu Adhikari belonged to neither camp. I have been seeing Shubhendu Adhikari since 2007 in a place called Nandigram in the Purbo Medinipur district of West Bengal. There was a absolutely unprecedented, unwarranted shooting of unarmed civilians by CPM goons who were dressed in police uniforms and Hawaii slippers. There was a terrible popular reaction to that. Now, Shubhendu Adhikari was the person who organized this revolt against that kind of thing and the popular reaction to that. At that time, Trinamool and BJP were on the same side. And I had accompanied that time Advani ji and Sushma ji to Trinamool, to this place, to Nandigram. And I had firsthand seen the capacity of Shubhendru Adhikari. He comes from a political family which was originally Congress. Then only for namesake they came to Trinamool. And he was in Trinamool for quite some time, but he didn't belong to either of the two categories that I mentioned. So his coming to BJP doesn't mean that he is carrying Trinamool blood or Trinamool ideology into BJP. If there is such a thing as Trinamool ideology, which I believe there isn't, then it doesn't mean that he is bringing any baggage from Trinamool. He is from a political family. He's a born mass leader, and he has been doing good work. So it is a good acquisition that BJP has had.
You've been very candid candid as well as you've been very critical about the West Bengal BJP, probably as a well-wisher. In 2021, of course, you did speak out after the results about how certain leaders had really had a big role to play in this defeat, where the BJP was looking at a very secure position, but failed to even get 100 seats here in West Bengal for the assembly elections.
That is so.
The damage done in 2021, has that been undone to a certain extent, or do you see that it has been status quo and there has been no change?
No, I believe so. I believe so. The people who did the damage, the real, should I say, miscreants, who might have been Trojan horses of the Trinamool also, might have become Trojan horses of Trinamool also. They are all out. None of them are. I'll not name them, but they are all out. One of them is there, but he was only a small pawn. The main persons, they are out. So it's 2021. What happened in 2021 will not have any repercussion in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. And I don't believe that there is, and I do believe that the damage has been undone. Now we've got to, since their exit, the party has been trying to rediscover itself, and it has done so to quite some extent. I would have liked, never mind, go ahead.
Please complete your sentence.
No. Something came to my mind, but I'm not going to say it. You go ahead with your next question.
Are you all right with the candidate list now? We still have to see who the BJP pitches in Asansol and Diamond Harbour, where none of the parties have been able to give a candidate, neither the Congress, nor the left, nor the BJP.
It is not as if BJP has not been able to give a candidate. There are quite a few candidates in the fray, but it has not been able to make the final selection.
And the rest of the seats, do you see a better choice of candidates?
Well, good and bad, but on the whole, it's satisfactory. I wouldn't say that it is not satisfactory. It's quite all right. I mean, whoever is BJP, the party is fielding, it's very difficult to imagine that all 42 of them will be up to my liking. But on the whole, it's all right.
About 6 months ago, you had tweeted about how the West Bengal BJP, with Lok Sabha elections knocking on the door, haven't found a West Bengal-centric issue to really fight the Lok Sabha elections, to reach the people at their doorstep. Do you see that that issue has been found by the BJP? Because frankly, I don't think as a journalist, I mean, we do travel a lot and we do speak to people. The central agency, corruption, those don't seem to be hitting the nerve of the general public, because the narrative of the opposition that all this is being done at the behest of the central government seems to be a narrative that the people seem to be buying in. So what is it that you see the BJP really using here in West Bengal to challenge the Trinamool Congress?
See, I personally don't think that the thing that the Trinamool was trying to sell, that is central deprivation of the West Bengal by denying its due finances, is cutting any ice, because Trinamool has been caught red-handed with so much money, and there is so much incontrovertible proof against so many of their leaders that they're, even without BJP saying so, people are, it is my impression that people are convinced that the center has been giving adequate money and the Trinamool has pilfered most of it. That is why they cannot carry on with it. Now, one of the shortcomings or one of the things that gaps, as I mentioned, of BJP is that Trinamool has been talking about some enhancements in Lokkit Bhandar, things like
The welfare
Lokkit
scheme.
Bhandar or similar grants.
The
Now,
welfare scheme.
BJP ought to say out loud and clear that they will not be able to carry on, or they will not be able to carry out these promises. They will not be able to carry on with this large essay because the state doesn't have money. The state is woefully short of money. It is very nearly in the state that Kerala is in. Kerala is completely bankrupt now. They went to the Supreme Court to borrow more money. Supreme Court has refused them. West Bengal is coming to that state. And this is something that ought to be canvassed with more vigor by the BJP, which it is not doing because it has not been able to craft a narrative yet.
But yet you're hopeful the BJP is going to get more seats. Is that because the Prime Minister is looking at a third consecutive term in a very closed, focused manner?
Absolutely. Because otherwise you just imagine, if you, it's not as if even people from somewhere in the deep in the interior, if you ask them why they are voting or who they are voting for, in a Lok Sabha election, they know that they are voting for a prime minister. Now the other side doesn't even have a prime ministerial face. They are all the time fighting with each other. It is not as if with so much reach of electronic and print media all the way to the interior, it is not as if people in the interior, they don't understand it. They understand it. It's Modi versus nobody. The Tina factor, looking at it in a different way. So that is one thing which is going to be very positively instrumental in persuading people to vote for Modi. The Muslim vote, of course, is a very big question because Mamata has been mollycoddling the Muslims for a very long time and with very sort of out-of-the-way favors. But the rest of the vote, the Muslims constitute about 30 to 35% of the population. You know, when we, the state, we got our independence back in 1947, the first census revealed that Muslims constituted 20% of the state. Now they are up to 30 to 35%. Some say that their percentage is greater. So they are one great vote bank of Trinamool Congress, which is why Trinamool has been, Mamata Banerjee has been mollycoddling them. And Mamata Banerjee has even gone to the extent of calling them Dudhel Gai, which means milk cow. So he is quite sure of this vote bank. Now, some people say that this vote bank is going to crack this time. Some votes are going to go to ISF, some votes are going to go to CPM. I personally don't think so because the binary nature of West Bengal politics is not going to change. The reason why BJP could not come up earlier than 2014 is because of this binary nature. No third party or fourth party has any chance. So for these reasons, it is Trinamool versus BJP and it is Narendra Modi versus nobody. So I think that is going to be a very big factor.
Before I let you go, just one question. With the results
Yes.
on June 4th, when the results are announced, whichever way West Bengal decides to go, how do you see that play out in 2026 in the assembly elections? If we see the Trinamool Congress regain ground, come back with a higher number of MPs, or if we see the BJP come back with a higher number of MPs, how do we see that play out in 2026?
2026 is a very, very long way off. 2 years is a very long time in politics. Even 2 weeks is said to be a very long time in politics, as you very well know. So 2026, what the results are going to be, it's too early to forecast. But I'll tell you some things, that a party which is based on the charisma of just one person, Trinamool is that. It's based on the charisma of just one person. And she makes sure that it is based on her charisma. It can't last very long. It would have been upset in 2021 had BJP not done what it did and what it should know, what it didn't do. So as a result of that, but 2026, it's very, very dicey for Trinamool. That is one. And the other thing is the question, how many more people go to jail? There are many people who deserve to go to jail. I'm quite sure of that. But it remains to be seen how many of them from Trinamool go to jail.
But that's almost like the narrative that the public is saying, that, the opposition leaders, the leaders of the BJP already have a count of the number of people who are going to go to jail, number of opposition leaders who are going to go to jail. But the reality of it has been that the investigating agencies, be it the CBI or the ED, have not been able to prove their charges, have not been able to charge sheet the leaders. We've seen the Sharda, Narda, PDS scam, SSC scam. We've seen leaders getting arrested. We've seen property getting seized. But we've really not seen where's the money trail, who was the one who was giving the bribe, who was the one taking the bribe. So there's a lot of cloud around it. So do you see the people really buying into it, the public at large?
Sure. Can you imagine 52 crores of rupees in cash being found in the house of a girlfriend of a minister, education minister, who had been until a few days back, who had been pontificating on what education should be in West Bengal and how it should further the thoughts of Mamata Banerjee. That person in her girlfriend's house, 52 crores have been found. It is all on TV. It is all over the social media. People have seen it with their eyes. Then the kind of crimes against women that have been committed by people like Shah Jahan. Then the kind of things that this person, this Anubrata Mondal and Jyotipriya Mallik, they have done. Their crimes are, one thing is clear, that these people have been before the judiciary, and judiciary has refused them bail. They haven't got bail. So with that, it is not as if the people would believe that somebody is unjustly being pushed into jail. There is justice, and people are quite happy over it.
Thank you so much for your thoughts and views, sir. It was really nice speaking to you. I hope our viewers will get an overview of what's in store for West Bengal in the upcoming Lok Sabha 2024 elections between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress here in the state. Thank you so much for speaking.